Welcome to the Gals Guide to the Galaxy podcast, where a group of gals gather for you one cool thing around our topic of the month. Is it ancient history? Is it breaking news? Is it safe for work? Well, that's up to each gal. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I'm Katie, and I'm joined by Bonnie and Leah talking about our one cool sci-fi gals. Bonnie already talked about Kate Mulgrew, but before we dive back in, Leah is going to tell us what's on the Gals Guide calendar for this week.
I am, and I'm actually going to give you a bonus because I'm going to tell you about 2 weeks that are on the calendar. The reason why is because we are off for Thanksgiving week. Nobody really listens to too many podcasts, and if they do, they're catching up on old podcasts. So we don't have an episode Thanksgiving week. So for November 14th through the 28th, on Thursday, November 17th, it's book club. That's right.
Nice. Look at that.
It's a week early due to Thanksgiving, so we meet on Zoom, and we are led by our lovely Katie Young. Thank you, Katie. This month, we are talking about Ursula K. Le Guin's book, The Dispossessed. So don't forget to register beforehand so you get that Zoom link, and you can register at galsguide.org. Gals Guide is going to be at Indie Reads on November 20th.
Nice.
We're going to be doing a fantastic workshop of how to make book roses and book cakes out of using mass market paperbacks. Don't worry, these are paperbacks no one's going to miss. It'll be fun. The event is free to attend. And if you don't want to make some book art, but you want to see what is possible, and I don't know, maybe purchase some already completed ones, that is all going to be available to you on November 20th at Indie Reads. So for the week of November 21st through the 28th, basically otherwise known as Thanksgiving week, Gals Guide's going to be closed on Wednesday and Thursday, the 23rd and 24th, again for Thanksgiving. But we're going to be back open for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. That's right, the library has everything you need. We don't. But we have a lot of really cool things for Black Friday and Small Business Saturdays, because speaking of which, Gals Guide is hosting author Kelly Wager to a book signing for her new book, Cafe Schwager Cookbook, planet-friendly, plant-based recipes for all. So nice. For Small Business Saturday, we have a wonderful shop small, shop local, and get some plant-friendly vegan recipes. I have had a lot of her fantastic food. It is nice. All super delicious. I love it. I totally 5 stars. Highly recommend. How about that? So come November 26th at 11 a.m. It's a little bit earlier than we normally do our book signings, but that's because she's going to be doing a Friendsgiving.
Oh, nice.
And having her friends over for Thanksgiving later that evening.
And we're all invited.
Sure. I mean, we are maybe not listeners, but You know what? Everybody who comes to the book signing can at least ask.
That's fair.
Right? So, but I highly recommend the book. The book is also available on Amazon as well, too.
Do you think she'll bring some plant-friendly snacks?
I will ask, but because it's early in the morning and she's going to be cooking for the rest of the day, we might be asking too much. But at the same time, there is a chance. And I'm going to ask because it's all delicious. So for this and all of our other calendar events, totally check out galsguide.org. Katie, do you have a get-to-know-you question for us?
I do. You all know how much I love Star Wars.
You do. It was at your wedding.
So we're going to take a minute and I'll figure out our Star Wars names.
Okay.
But before we figure it out, I'll let you guys do your calculations.
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody listening how they, too, can find their Star Wars name.
Totally.
So the first thing you do is you take the first 3 letters of your last name.
Yep.
You combine them with the first 2 letters of your first name.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my last name's Young, so I'm going to take Y-O-U, and I'm going to put the first 2 letters of my first name next to that, which is K-A. Mm-hmm. Then you follow up with the first, it's a space.
It's basically for your last name. Yeah,
gotcha.
So that's your first name.
Gotcha.
And so then it's a space,
name.
then it's your last name.
So the last name is the first 3 letters of your mother's maiden name.
Exactly.
So I'll go ahead and share with you guys.
What is yours?
Yukatho.
Oh.
Nice.
Ooh. I don't know how to pronounce anything.
Would it be T-H or T-O? Oh, Yukatu. Yeah, there you go. I did, yeah. For some reason, I'd go Japanese with it. I don't know why.
I like that. It sounds
and
prettier.
give it lots of O's. Yukatu.
That would be me.
Oh my gosh. I love how this is when I really realized that my first name and my last name are pretty much exactly the same.
That is true.
But it's Lily Koo.
Oh, that's so cute.
Lily Koo.
Lily Koo.
Obviously, I'm a teeny tiny droid of some kind or a little fuzzy creature.
Yeah,
or something,
you're
I
a
think.
little.
What do I get to be if I'm Yuka?
Yuka
Ooh.
Too?
Yuka too.
That really does feel like a droid to me. I don't know why. But I like you can define yourself as any Star Wars you want. You
But
could be a
I don't
freaking
know
Jedi
the
in
Star
this.
Wars glossary. So.
Well, then you're a Jedi.
Okay. What have you got, Bonnie?
I got Filbo Russ.
Filbo Russ.
Oh, you're a bounty hunter.
You know nothing, but yet you nailed that.
I
yes.
did.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, we've all
Totally.
absorbed enough Star
yes.
Wars through
No,
the
this
culture.
is true.
Wasn't born yesterday.
Oh, I love that. Yes, the glorious Star Wars names
So it seems appropriate
Our fan
that we've
fiction
established
is coming soon. Yes.
that I don't spend a lot of time on science fiction.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So
sure.
when I was thinking about what woman I wanted to talk about, I do remember my very favorite sci-fi book I've ever written. Written.
You wrote a book,
Yeah, I
Katie?
did. Of course, it was sci-fi, my favorite genre. No. Okay.
Yes.
I gotta focus in.
Okay,
I
sorry.
was telling Leah it's been a morning. My alarm clock didn't wake me up, and I haven't settled since then.
There you go.
So,
yes. Fair.
I'm zooming in now.
Yes.
So my very favorite sci-fi book I've ever read
Yeah.
is by Sheri S. Tepper.
Is it that one right
It
there?
is. It's Gate to Women's Country, and it's prominently displayed here in
I
the
do,
library.
because I knew it was your favorite. And I was like,
wondered.
you know what? I'm going to put Katie's favorite on the side. There's also a Star Wars stack, by the way, too.
I noticed that too. We have everybody's interests up there.
Yes, exactly.
So I read this in high school, so I don't even remember it very clearly.
But it influenced you then.
It did.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the if anybody brings up sci-fi, I'm like, that's my holy grail. That was made an impression. So as I was researching Sheri, I came across a description of the Gate to Women's Country.
Yeah.
That I thought was kind of funny and probably why I liked the book.
Yes.
Perhaps her most infamous book is 1988's, it is an old book, The Gate to Women's Country, in which enclaves of women run society, regulating men to hyper-masculine garrisons, sending them off to war to thin the numbers, and trying eugenics to solve the problem of men.
Oh my!
I mean, that just really appealed to high school me.
Little tiny high school Katie was like, yes.
You're speaking
How
to me.
soon till this
I
future
feel
becomes
like
reality?
that's the thing when all the dudes are like, "You can't have feminists run the country." Like, I think that's what they're thinking is
Yes.
going to
I
happen.
know.
Mhm.
And okay,
But let's try it.
it's it's not what she really meant. She was illustrating other thoughts, philosophies,
Yes.
ideals, exploring things.
Right.
But yeah, that's Gate to Women's Country.
But it sounds like fun and is toply displayed in the library.
Highly recommend.
I don't think toply displayed is a word, by the way.
I wasn't going to question it.
Thank you.
It flowed out. So Sheri S. Tepper was born in Colorado on, you're not going to believe this because you just heard how radical that book was, right?
Yeah.
She was born July 16th, 1929.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Did you even
It's like-
know?
No, I had no
'Cause
idea.
I feel like she's almost lived two different lives.
Yeah.
Because you have Sheri, who was the mother, got divorced, struggled to support her kids as a single mother,
Gotcha.
actually made a fabulous career that we're going to talk about. And then she was 54 years old when she published her first novel.
Oh, wow.
And she has over 40 novels to her name.
Oh my goodness. So
There's a lot of people that start their career writing
Yeah.
that don't have.
Mhm.
her book
that
career is
many.
basically her second phase of her life.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And as I kind of fill you in on what her careers were prior to that, you'll really see how, they kind of embodied who she is, her views, and kind of influenced the books she wrote.
Yeah.
Well, like herself, she wrote the books with, her own thoughts and opinions and chose her career
Yes.
path based on that.
Hmm.
But as far as her childhood, she was born in rural Colorado near the town of Littleton. And she recalled her youth being very lonely.
Gotcha.
Because some elderly relatives lived at the house, so she and her brother were frequently told to go outside and play. Go outside and play. Don't even be in the house, so it can be calm and quiet for these elderly relatives.
Right.
But it was during that time she really worked on amusing herself with her super vivid imagination.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, definitely like the stepping stones to building that piece of her writing, I would say. And the other part of that is she also developed a strong love for animals and the environment, which are also huge themes in her books.
Yeah.
So one of her other
And the
favorite
mouse.
Right. One of her other famous books is called Grass. which is also over there.
It's the fourth book down. Yes.
Fourth one in the stack.
What is that one? Actually, I'm like looking at it. I don't even know what it's about.
You know what? I'm going to try to find that for you.
Is it about
one of the
grass?
quotes about it was
What kind of grass
disturbing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually a series.
Oh, okay.
And it is about like eco-environmental activism.
Oh, nice.
So, but I think it is very much like, this is what happens when we ruin the earth.
Oh.
I haven't read them, but that's
Right, yeah.
that's the
the
gist
milieu
of what I think it is.
Okay, gotcha.
So it could be interesting. Very like she's so ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Born in 1929, but she's talking about things today that are
Right.
really on the forefront of what we
Climate
talk
change.
about.
Yeah.
Mhm. So she was. I'm gonna find it because I just really liked the description of her style.
Gotcha.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, you're fine.
If only I were Leah writing myself an
I know,
entire
exactly.
novel
It's
to
like-
read us.
I know, and then
flows
it's
so
like, well, let me
beautifully.
see if I can find it within the notes. I mean, buried within pages of pages. I was kind of hoping Grass was about a whole bunch of people that smoke marijuana, and then
I mean,
you know, and then just had like vivid trips, and it's like, here, let's just write about it. So, but I could tell from the cover it wasn't totally about marijuana.
I like how you're filling in for me while I scan.
I am, but
and
I also
fail.
was curious about it, 'cause I was
Right?
just like, ooh,
No, it definitely is about the environment and how we care for it. So I'm not
Gotcha.
going to find it exactly, but it just talks about how she was a second wave feminist and hugely an eco-humanist.
Gotcha. Okay, very
Was
cool.
How she pretty much identified herself.
Oh, nice. So everything about her kind of related to nature and animals and the
Mhm.
you know environment and everything. So
Yes, and
cool.
definitely the empowerment of women and the rights of women. So I'll go ahead. That's a perfect segue
Yeah,
into
it
what
is.
her career was, except I might sneeze.
Okay, go ahead and sneeze. Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. So she really job hopped for a while her kids were young, and she was
Gotcha.
supporting them. And she worked at a nonprofit, I think was called Care, something like that.
Okay.
But her more meaty career started in 1962 when she began a 25-year career as executive director of Planned Parenthood in Denver,
Really?
which is now known as the Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains.
Oh.
But it started when she was hired on as a small nonprofit, primarily serving Denver area.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
by the
neat.
time she had retired, she had overseen the growth of the organization to provide family planning services to thousands of women throughout Colorado and Wyoming.
Oh wow.
She pioneered a service delivery model that made family planning affordable for low-income women, and this model was widely adopted throughout the United States in the 80s and 90s.
Ah.
During her tenure at Planned Parenthood, she was a fierce advocate for women's rights and reproductive freedom.
Nice. So not only did she write about it, but she walked the walk and, you know, was
Yeah.
part of the movement. Oh, that's
Absolutely. So she's super fascinating. And a lot of the people that I found that wrote articles about her were talking about how there's not really a lot out there because she didn't really go to a lot of things. She didn't go to a lot of conventions, book signings.
Work
She
it.
wasn't a social person.
Oh, for her writing, for
For her
that
writing.
part of her life. Oh,
Okay, well,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's coworkers, people that knew her,
Yeah.
you know, but she wasn't a famous author that people were
She was
like,
busy writing books in the later part of her life. So
right.
yeah.
And she just, I think she was a little bit, I wouldn't say a recluse, but maybe not always a huge fan of people.
I don't know what that's like at all.
Yeah. Like somebody's quote is they talked about how for Sheri S. Tepper, there are too many people. It's why her books have so many plagues.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, she really is my kind of person.
I was going to say she's speaking your language.
She is. She is. But she made her first and only convention appearance at WizCon,
Oh.
which I thought was very cool because it's actually a feminist sci-fi convention
Oh.
in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness, look at that.
Her
I've
first and
never
only.
heard of WizCon.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
She also, in 2015, a year before her passing, was awarded the World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement.
Oh, very
So,
cool.
I think she has a few other awards here and there.
Right, exactly. But those were the big ones.
right?
Yeah.
And so if it's not enough that she wrote 40 books at the age of 54 and on,
Crazy.
she also opened, in her retirement with her second husband, a ranch in Colorado and then later in Santa Fe where they hosted people, like kind of like a dude
Oh.
ranch kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I like this part that I read. The guest ranch that Sheri owned and managed reflected her talents at building new worlds. Wind sculptures and fantastic statuary adorned the grounds, which were teamed with vivid perennial gardens and inviting nooks and spaces. Rare breeds of farm animals lived throughout: sheep, goats, burros, chickens, rabbits in a warren, and families of rakshas peafowl roosts in the tree and eaves. So that was the
Aw.
environment she
It's like a little wild zoo.
cultivated around
Aw.
herself and made her home
Yeah.
while
sounds
giving
like
us
fun.
some pretty radical novels.
Sweet. Dun, 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 dun.
I bet you guys didn't know that Sheri was so badass.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do highly recommend to all of our listeners out
Yeah.
there to read Gate to Women's Country.
Look at that.
It's amazing.
It does seem to be available at the Gals Guide
It
Library
does.
for any patrons who would like to check it out.
Grass.
Yep, exactly. I'd have to also check our collection to see, and I can put it in the show notes of what other books we have.
Yeah.
I think those are actually the only two we have.
Another
But, oh, yeah.
big title for her is Beauty.
Oh,
And it's like
okay.
her take on the
The Beauty Myth?
the fairy tale. What is it? The
Oh, Sleeping Beauty?
Sleeping Beauty, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Dun,
it's
dun,
not
dun.
pleasant.
Right. But I like the idea of
Yeah.
twisting. Like, I love twisted fairy tales and things like
It's
that.
very
so.
twisted. I mean, and just to warn you, I mean, there's like rapes, assaults in her writing. It's like
It's got
very
it's-
much for adults.
It would be trigger
be
warnings all
triggering.
over the place.
Yeah. So if you research her, I'm sure you'll get some of those infos about which books are more like that and not. So
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of books to choose from for readers
40,
and all that kind of
right?
good stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And this convention was WizCon?
Yeah. I mean, I know there's Wizard World, but that's usually put on by like Wizard of the Coast, and that's usually like a gaming
Yeah.
one.
It's-
So I think it's just
I think
that
it's-
happens to
oh,
be the
you know
name.
what? Maybe I shouldn't have pronounced it WizCon. It's Wisconsin, like Wisconsin.
Oh, like Wisconsin.
Wiscon.
Oh, okay.
Wisconsin.
Sorry. I was thinking like the Wiz,
You
like the
know,
Power
I'm
Wiz, Wizard of
Not a
Oz. and
strong reader.
You're
I
good.
was just a
You're
wizard.
good.
Except in my mind.
Wisconsin Con.
Yep.
Got it. Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
You probably said the right thing. It's
Oh,
just,
no.
I think Bonnie and I immediately went to.
I just
We
didn't
went
want
to
to
Gandalf.
put too hard of an S in this mic. A big in your ears.
The next one is May 26th through 29th of 2023.
It's still going? Oh,
Mhm.
awesome.
WizCon vanished traditions by scheduling a whole convention's worth of panels addressing many feminist and poignantly left-leaning political topics.
Oh, there you go. Sweet. I mean, they're not sugarcoating it or anything, but at the same time, there.
First one was in 1976.
Ah.
Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Join us next week for another Cool Women of History as Gals Guide podcast continues. Thank you for listening.
For show notes, links, and images from this week's show, visit galsguide.org. Want exclusive stuff like deleted bits and major bloopers? Become a Gals Guide patron today. Thanks for listening.